Hey everybody, it's Emily at ARC Schooling, and today I'm going to talk about our February morning basket. So I haven't done a morning basket video in a while, mainly because, during the holidays it was just sort of non-existent. we were busy reading picture books about the holidays and baking cookies and all the chaos that comes with Christmas. And in January we really didn't keep up with much because I was recovering and it was just not a very great homeschool month overall. But I feel like we're getting back into the groove of things and I actually have a plan for this month, so I thought I'd show you what I have. We're focusing in the month of February on World War II. Like I said in a previous video, my daughter really got into a show we were watching on Netflix called The Long Long Holiday about French children during World War II and their experiences, and it was really great and really cute, and she just like ate it up and wanted more. And so I had to think, like, how do I teach World War II to an 8-year-old without like traumatizing her? So she's a very sensitive but also very perceptive and very intuitive child, so I had to think of a way to like introduce the topic and talk about the facts of what happened without being too upsetting. So the bulk of what we're doing this month is revolving around that. I have a few books that we're using for our information. I have this book that was just, I don't know where it came from. I have had it on my shelves for ages, and this is the Usborne Intro to the Second World War. It's internet linked. It's exactly what it is, what it sounds like it is. It's got, you know, the typical Usborne encyclopedia style book, and this is the just the facts kind of book, and it's a little bit too information intensive for her, so we're just sort of dabbling in this. I'm also reading the sections in Story of the World that pertain to World War II. We've jumped way ahead, but we're just reading through this and sort of giving her an idea of what was happening. And I also have this book, which I showed in a previous video, World War II, Kids Who Survived to Tell Their Stories. And, you know, it's what it is. It's a bunch of different children and what their experiences were during the war as children. So you get a pretty wide view. This has children who were Jewish during that time. This has a boy from the Nazi youth, a girl who was living in the Philippines, a Japanese American, as well as a Japanese girl. So you get a pretty wide perspective of what was happening in the world during the war. And our read aloud at the moment, I don't know if we're going to read anything after this. This may be it. It depends on how she takes it and if she's still interested in learning more. But we're reading The War That Saved My Life by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. I have a full review, which I will link above, about this book. I loved it. Yes, I did buy the sequel. I have not read it. I'm hoping to pick it up when we finish this. I don't know if we'll do it as a read aloud or if I'll just read it for my own benefit, because I am really curious about it. I loved this book quite a lot. This is the story of Ada, a little girl who lives in England with her brother Jamie, and they live in London, and at the beginning of the story we find out that the war is beginning and the Blitz is about to happen and the children are all being sent away. Ada is a cripple. She has a club foot, and her mother is horrible, and she treats her badly and refuses to let Ada leave because she doesn't care what happens to her. And Ada decides to take her fate into her own hands, and she leaves with her brother to go to the countryside. And I'm not going to say more because this book is beautiful and wonderful, and you should definitely read it if you haven't picked it up yet. That will comprise our World War II unit. We're not doing a lot of extra stuff with it. I feel like it's a pretty heavy topic and I don't want to overdo it. So we're just sort of reading, looking at the map when we need to figure out where a place is, and talking about the book. We're probably going to watch The Long Long Holiday again. We're also still working our way through Poetry Speaks to Children. We've kind of taken a break from poetry since Christmas and we haven't really picked it back up much yet, so I'm hoping that this month is the month where we regain our momentum. And so we're just going to start reading a poem a week or so and get back into the rhythm of that. I miss poetry. We haven't done it in a while. For art, again, same thing. We haven't done this in a couple months now, and I've been really wanting to get back into it, so we're going to pick this back up. Vincent's Starry Night and Other Stories, A Children's History of Art by Michael Bird. If you haven't gotten your hands on a copy of this yet, I highly recommend it. It's gorgeous. Each chapter is about either a piece of art or an artist. Usually it's an artist and a piece of their art, and you can see the artwork is right there, and then the story about how a painting or a piece of art came into being, a little bit about the artist. It's fantastic. It is a great jumping off point for art history. My mother-in-law brought this over the other day and I thought it was a fun idea. It's a little money matching game. My daughter is 8 years old and she's just starting to remember the names of the coins. And she's had a little bit of a hard time with it, but we're working on it. She's getting better. And I think this is going to help quite a bit. We don't do it every day, but I pull it out once a week and we're going to try to focus on that right now as a little extra for math, because that is sort of her weak point, that and time telling. Working on that too. She's forever asking what time is it, and I'm always showing her how to do it. We look at the digital clock, we look at the regular clock, and we're getting there. Slowly but surely. And finally, the last thing in our basket is science, and we're still kind of working our way through space. Slowly, we spent a couple weeks at the end of January really focusing on the planets and getting that information down, and now we're going back and forth between stars and space travel and all of that good stuff. So we're reading through the Professor Astrocat's Frontiers of Space. I love this book. It's beautifully illustrated. It's really cute. She enjoys the content. It's really well done. I highly recommend this. If you haven't picked this up yet, you should. And in addition to that, I've thrown these both in. These cover both a little bit of astronomy and mythology, and that is the Dot to Dot in the Sky series. I have Stories of the Zodiac and Stories in the Stars, and these are both by Joan Marie Gallet, I don't know how you pronounce the name. And basically, these are about the constellations, and it gives you some information about the constellation as well as where the names of the constellations come from. So there's some mythology about the constellation names and the zodiac, so Aries and what that means and where to find it in the sky, and a little bit more about the story behind Aries. So I really like these. They're really cute. If you have used the Harry Potter units, you'll know these are scheduled in the second unit when you're studying astronomy. As the Hogwarts course, we use these. That is it for what's in our morning basket for the month of February. I have a feeling this is going to carry into March, so I don't know if I'll have a video for March. Depends on what changes. If we have something new, I'll share about it, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. My morning baskets kind of go by the whims of my daughter and what she's interested in and what we're thinking about and the questions she's asking. So we'll have to see where this takes us. But this is what we have for now. Do you guys have anything interesting in your morning basket this month? I'd love to hear about it. Please share down below in the comments and we can chat. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Happy reading. Bye!